Hey there, book lovers. Welcome to the Book Lounge, your sanctuary for deep ideas, big ambitions, and transformative stories. Here's a question for you. What if I told you there's a way to think differently, to not just compete, but create, to uncover untapped opportunities and build something the world has never seen before? Sounds bold, right? Well, today, we're talking about 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, a masterclass in rethinking innovation and unlocking the secrets to building the future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a curious thinker, or someone who simply wants to understand what makes game-changing startups tick, this is your moment. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with actionable insights to challenge conventional wisdom, harness your unique ideas, and take the first step toward creating something truly extraordinary. So grab a cozy spot and let's uncover what it takes to leap from 0 to 1. Chapter 1. The Challenge of the Future. The future isn't something that happens by accident. It's something we create. Chapter 1 challenges us to think critically about what lies ahead and how we can shape it. The central idea here is simple yet profound. Progress doesn't just happen. It requires deliberate, innovative action. Yet most of us struggle to envision a future that's meaningfully different from the present. Why? Because we've been conditioned to think in incremental terms rather than bold leaps. This chapter opens with a striking question. Will the future be defined by stagnation or innovation? Stagnation represents a world that merely refines what already exists, a linear progression from 1 to n, where we replicate and improve upon what's already been done. But true innovation goes from 0 to 1. It's the act of creating something entirely new, something unprecedented. This distinction sets the stage for how we should think about the future, not as an extension of today, but as a chance to build a world that's fundamentally different. The challenge lies in identifying these opportunities for innovation. It's not about predicting the future. It's about inventing it. To do that, we must reject the comfort of familiarity and the safety of conventional thinking. This requires asking questions that few dare to ask. What secrets remain hidden in plain sight? What valuable ideas are so underexplored that they might hold the key to groundbreaking change? These secrets are often overlooked because most people assume everything worth discovering has already been found. The problem is compounded by societal attitudes toward risk and originality. In a world increasingly dominated by conformity and groupthink, we're rewarded for playing it safe and criticized for venturing off the beaten path. This mindset, though comfortable, is inherently limiting. Innovation demands courage, the willingness to challenge accepted norms, to stand apart from the crowd, and to risk failure in the pursuit of transformative ideas. But how do we cultivate this mindset? The chapter suggests that it starts with rethinking progress itself. Most people envision progress as globalization, spreading existing technologies, ideas, and practices to new places and markets. While globalization can create value, it's fundamentally about copying and scaling what already works. In contrast, technological progress, the kind that leads to true innovation, requires creating new things entirely. It's the difference between building more of the same and designing something the world has never seen. To create the future, we must embrace technology as the driver of meaningful change. This doesn't just mean digital gadgets or software. It encompasses any invention or idea that advances humanity. The key is to focus on unique contributions, things that can't be easily replicated, things that add exponential value, and things that redefine entire industries. The chapter also warns against a dangerous illusion, the idea that progress is inevitable. History shows that societies can stagnate for centuries, stuck in a loop of repeating the past without making significant advancements. The assumption that innovation will continue, no matter what, is a trap that breeds complacency. To ensure progress, we must actively seek it out and invest in it. This challenge of the future isn't limited to entrepreneurs or technologists. It's a call to everyone. The world needs people willing to question the status quo, pursue unconventional paths, and dream big. Whether it's founding a startup, reshaping an organization, or rethinking how we approach education, health, or energy, the opportunities to innovate are vast, if we're brave enough to seize them. Finally, the chapter closes with a powerful insight. Every moment in history offers unique opportunities, but they don't last forever. Inaction is the greatest risk of all. If we don't rise to the challenge of creating the future, we risk inheriting one shaped by others, or worse, one stuck in perpetual stagnation. The future, then, is not a distant horizon to wait for. It's an invitation to act boldly, to build something new, and to redefine what's possible. The question is, will you accept the challenge? Chapter 2. Party like it's 1999. The late 1990s were a time of unparalleled optimism in the tech world. The internet was booming, startups were flourishing, and the future seemed limitless. But as this chapter reveals, behind the frenzy of the dot-com bubble lay a series of dangerous assumptions that would ultimately lead to its spectacular collapse. It wasn't just about bad investments or overhyped ideas. It was about fundamental misunderstandings of progress, value, and strategy. The central lesson here is that blind optimism can be as destructive as pessimism. During the late 90s, the tech world embraced a growth-at-all-costs mentality. Startups prioritized expansion over substance, valuing market share and user growth over profitability and sustainability. The belief was that success came from being the first to claim a new market, regardless of whether that market was viable. This mindset gave rise to what the chapter calls the 4 big lessons of the 2000s, which many took as gospel after the bubble burst. While these lessons were a reaction to the excesses of the dot-com era, they were also deeply flawed oversimplifications. 1. Make incremental advances. After the chaos of the dot-com crash, businesses avoided bold risks and focused on safer, smaller steps. But this conservatism stifled innovation. True progress requires bold, visionary leaps, not just cautious, incremental improvements. 2. Stay lean and flexible. The lean startup approach became popular, emphasizing adaptability over long-term planning. But constant iteration without a clear vision can lead to aimless wandering. Building something extraordinary requires a commitment to a specific vision, even if it involves risk. 3. Improve on the competition. Many businesses became obsessed with outperforming rivals rather than creating something unique. However, the best companies aren't focused on competition. They're focused on carving out entirely new markets. 4. Focus on products, not sales. In reaction to the excessive hype of the dot-com era, businesses began to downplay the importance of sales and marketing, relying solely on product quality to carry them forward. But even the best products require effective storytelling and distribution to succeed. While these lessons emerged as reactions to the excesses of the past, they missed the deeper truth. The problem wasn't ambition or innovation. It was the lack of focus and strategy. Bold visions and massive risks weren't inherently bad, but they needed to be grounded in a realistic understanding of what creates lasting value. The chapter underscores the importance of not falling into the trap of overcorrection. Just because the dot-com bubble celebrated unsustainable growth doesn't mean we should reject ambition entirely. Instead, we need to redefine it. Success doesn't come from merely being the first to market or scaling rapidly. It comes from building something that's truly valuable and enduring. One of the most striking ideas is the difference between luck and skill. During the dot-com era, many attributed success to luck, a fortuitous combination of timing, hype, and circumstance. But luck is not a strategy. The companies that survived and thrived after the bubble burst weren't lucky. They were built on solid foundations, with clear visions, sustainable business models, and a focus on solving real problems. This chapter is a reminder that every era has its own bubbles and blind spots. The lesson isn't just about avoiding the mistakes of the dot-com era, but about critically evaluating the assumptions of our own time. Are we chasing unsustainable growth? Are we overvaluing adaptability at the expense of vision? Are we too focused on competition instead of innovation? The takeaway is clear. Progress isn't about following the trends of the moment or copying what's worked in the past. It's about thinking deeply about what creates real, lasting value and having the courage to pursue it, even when it means rejecting the conventional wisdom of the day. As you reflect on the lessons of this chapter, one question lingers. Are you building something meaningful and enduring, or are you just playing along with the crowd? Chapter 3. All happy companies are different. Success in business isn't random, and it's not evenly distributed. This chapter reveals a powerful truth. All great companies are unique because they've discovered how to escape competition. They don't merely survive, they thrive by creating monopolies in their markets. This idea challenges the conventional belief that competition is the ultimate driver of progress. Instead, it argues that competition often destroys value, while monopolies allow for the creation of something extraordinary. The chapter begins with a bold statement: competition is for losers. This isn't to suggest that businesses should avoid hard work or ambition. It's a wake-up call to rethink how value is created. Companies locked in fierce competition are trapped in a race to the bottom. They slash prices, imitate each other, and expend resources trying to outdo one another without creating anything fundamentally new. The result? Margins shrink, innovation slows, and everyone loses. In contrast, the most successful companies operate like monopolies. They dominate their markets by offering something so unique, valuable, and difficult to replicate that no one else can compete. These monopolies don't just extract value, they create it. They generate profits that allow them to innovate further, serve their customers better, and even shape their industries. The chapter draws a parallel to the famous opening line of Anna Karenina. All happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. In the same way, all successful companies share a defining trait. They've carved out unique spaces for themselves. Meanwhile, companies that fail tend to suffer from the same problem: relentless competition in a crowded market. But what makes a monopoly? This chapter outlines several key attributes of monopolistic companies. 1. Proprietary technology. The cornerstone of any monopoly is technological superiority. A company must offer something dramatically better than its competitors, whether it's 10x faster, cheaper, or more efficient. This technological edge creates a barrier that's hard for others to cross. 2. Network effects. Some monopolies grow stronger as more people use their products. A classic example is a social network. The more users it has, the more valuable it becomes. 3. Economies of scale. Successful monopolies scale in ways that competitors cannot match. The larger they grow, the lower their costs, creating a competitive advantage that reinforces their dominance. 4. Branding. A strong, distinct brand can create a sense of trust and loyalty that's nearly impossible to replicate. The chapter also dispels a dangerous myth, the idea that monopolies are inherently bad for society. It argues that there's a crucial difference between creative monopolies and destructive ones. Creative monopolies, like Google or Tesla, provide immense value to their customers and push humanity forward. They reinvest their profits in innovation, creating better products and services that benefit everyone. On the other hand, destructive monopolies, like the robber barons of the past, hoard wealth and stifle progress. However, creating a monopoly isn't easy. It requires more than just luck or ambition. It demands foresight and strategy. Most companies fail to escape competition because they misunderstand their markets. They either define their market too broadly or too narrowly, setting themselves up for failure. For example, many businesses claim to be in big markets like energy, health, or finance. But these markets are often overcrowded, making it nearly impossible to stand out. Conversely, some companies define their markets so narrowly that they miss opportunities for growth. The key is to find a niche monopoly, a small but untapped market where you can establish dominance. Once you've done that, you can expand strategically to larger markets. The chapter challenges readers to think deeply about how they define their own businesses. Are you competing in a crowded space, or are you creating something truly unique? Have you identified a niche where you can dominate, or are you trying to be everything to everyone? Ultimately, the lesson is clear. The goal of any business should be to escape competition by creating a monopoly. This isn't about cutting corners or exploiting customers. It's about offering something so exceptional that you redefine the market. The most compelling takeaway from this chapter is its call to action. Don't settle for competing on the same playing field as everyone else. Instead, ask yourself, what can I create that's so unique, so valuable, and so transformative that no one else can compete? That's the real path to building a successful company and shaping the future. Chapter 4. The Ideology of Competition. Competition is so deeply ingrained in our culture that it's often seen as an unquestionable virtue. This chapter reveals a startling truth. The obsession with competition is not only counterproductive, but can blind us to the true path of innovation and success. Far from being a driver of progress, relentless competition can trap individuals and companies in cycles of imitation, mediocrity, and wasted effort. The chapter begins by exposing the pervasive influence of competitive ideology in society. From an early age, we're taught to compete, to chase prestigious schools, coveted jobs, and top rankings. This mindset carries into the business world, where companies are constantly measured against their rivals. The result? A world where success is narrowly defined as beating the competition, rather than creating something truly valuable. But here's the irony. The most successful companies and individuals aren't those who compete the hardest. They're the ones who transcend competition altogether by doing something so unique, so innovative, that no one else can follow. This chapter challenges us to question the cultural fixation on competition and instead embrace a mindset of creation and differentiation. One of the most compelling insights is the idea that competition often destroys value. When businesses are locked in a zero-sum game, they focus on outdoing their rivals rather than serving their customers or pursuing innovation. Resources are wasted on aggressive pricing, marketing wars, and incremental improvements, while the potential for groundbreaking change is lost. Take academia as an example. Many students obsessively compete for the same spots at prestigious universities or in top firms, often sacrificing their true passions and unique talents in the process. This rat race produces conformity, not excellence. The same pattern plays out in business. Companies chasing market share often mimic each other, leading to commoditized products and razor-thin margins. The chapter introduces the concept of differentiation as the antidote to competition. To escape the trap of competitive ideology, a company must define itself on its own terms. This means focusing not on what others are doing, but on what no one else is doing. It's about finding a unique position in the market, a place where you can thrive without constantly looking over your shoulder. Historical examples illustrate this idea vividly. Consider the airline industry. Decades of competition have led to low margins, high debt, and little innovation. Airlines are locked in brutal battles over price and routes, with none able to break free. Compare that to companies like Apple or Google, which have avoided cutthroat competition by creating entirely new categories or dominating niches where they're untouchable. The chapter also critiques the common belief that competition drives progress. While competition may encourage short-term efficiency, it rarely leads to long-term breakthroughs. True innovation comes from visionaries who think beyond competition, people who see opportunities others miss and have the courage to pursue them, even when it means going against the grain. But why is competitive ideology so deeply rooted in our thinking? The chapter suggests that it's partly because competition is a form of validation. Competing provides a sense of purpose, a way to measure success relative to others. But this external focus is limiting. When you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you're not thinking about how to create something genuinely new or valuable. The narrative concludes with a call to action. Rethink what success means. Instead of striving to win in crowded, competitive spaces, aim to create your own game. Define your own metrics of success, and don't let the pressure of competition distract you from your unique vision. This chapter is a powerful reminder that competition is not the ultimate goal. It's a distraction from the real work of building something transformative. By rejecting the ideology of competition, we free ourselves to think creatively, take risks, and chart our own paths. The challenge, then, is not to compete harder, but to think differently. What can you create that makes competition irrelevant? What unique contribution can you make that others cannot easily replicate? The answers to these questions will determine whether you're stuck in the rat race or building a future that's entirely your own. Chapter 5. Last Mover Advantage. The conventional wisdom glorifies being first. It's all about getting to the market early, gaining traction, and outpacing competitors. But this chapter flips that idea on its head, revealing that the real winners in business aren't just the first movers, they're the last movers. These are the companies that build monopolies so enduring, so innovative, that they stand the test of time. The chapter opens with a provocative idea. Being first might give you a head start, but it doesn't guarantee success. In fact, many first movers fail because they prioritize speed over sustainability. They rush to market without refining their ideas, misread customer needs, or exhaust their resources battling early competitors. In contrast, last movers focus on building something lasting, capturing not just the moment, but the future. So, what is the last mover advantage? It's the ability to dominate your market for decades by creating something so unique, so irreplaceable, that it becomes synonymous with the category itself. Think of companies like Google, which wasn't the first search engine, but became the one that matters. Or Facebook, which outlasted early social networks by understanding the long-term potential of its platform. The secret to last mover advantage lies in building a monopoly, a business so differentiated that it has no real competition. But this isn't about exploiting customers or stifling innovation. True monopolies create value by solving problems in ways no one else can. They don't just make better products, they define entirely new categories, becoming the default choice in their markets. This chapter outlines 4 key elements of a lasting monopoly. 1. Proprietary technology. The foundation of any enduring monopoly is innovation that's hard to replicate. It's not enough to make incremental improvements. You need to create something that's exponentially better. The rule of thumb? Aim for a product that's at least 10 times better than the competition, whether it's faster, cheaper, or more effective. 2. Network effects. A product becomes more valuable as more people use it. This isn't just about popularity. It's about creating a system where every new user makes the experience better for everyone else. Platforms like LinkedIn and eBay are perfect examples of this principle. 3. Economies of scale. As monopolistic companies grow, their cost per unit decreases, giving them an advantage that smaller competitors can't match. This scalability ensures that they remain dominant as they expand. 4. Branding. A strong, enduring brand is more than a logo. It's an emotional connection with customers. A brand that inspires trust and loyalty can create a moat that competitors can't cross. But creating a monopoly isn't just about assembling these elements. It's about timing, focus, and strategy. The chapter stresses the importance of starting small and scaling deliberately. Many businesses fail because they try to conquer massive markets too quickly, spreading themselves thin and losing focus. Instead, successful companies start by dominating a niche, one small market where they can achieve undisputed leadership. Once they've established themselves, they can expand into adjacent markets, gradually building a monopoly that spans industries. The chapter also challenges the myth of linear growth. While many companies aim for steady, incremental improvements, last movers take a different approach. They focus on exponential growth, finding ways to achieve massive breakthroughs that redefine their industries. This requires thinking big, taking calculated risks, and rejecting the safety of conventional wisdom. One of the most compelling points is that last movers must think in terms of decades, not quarters. Building a lasting monopoly isn't about short-term wins. It's about creating a legacy. This means prioritizing durability over speed, vision over trend chasing, and innovation over imitation. The chapter concludes with a powerful insight. Lasting success isn't about being the fastest or the loudest. It's about being the most thoughtful. It's about understanding not just where the market is today, but where it's going. By focusing on the long game, last movers ensure that they don't just participate in their industries, they define them. For those aiming to build something enduring, the lesson is clear. Don't just aim to be first, aim to be the last. Build a monopoly so resilient, so innovative, that it becomes the future itself. The question isn't how to start fast, it's how to finish strong. Chapter 6. You are not a lottery ticket. One of the most pervasive myths in life and business is the belief that success is random. This chapter dismantles that fatalistic view, arguing instead that success is neither a matter of chance nor the result of sheer luck. It's the product of deliberate, visionary action. Believing otherwise is not only disempowering, it's dangerous. The chapter begins by identifying 2 conflicting worldviews: indefinite optimism and definite optimism. Indefinite optimism sees the future as something bright but unknowable. People with this mindset hope for good outcomes, but don't take specific actions to create them. In contrast, definite optimism is grounded in the belief that the future can be shaped through planning, innovation, and purposeful work. This isn't about predicting the future, it's about creating it. The problem with indefinite optimism is that it encourages passivity. If success is seen as a lottery, people spend their energy hedging bets, diversifying efforts, and waiting for opportunity to strike. This mindset is especially prevalent in modern society, where randomness is celebrated as the ultimate arbiter of success. But this view neglects the role of vision, focus, and intention in achieving extraordinary outcomes. The chapter critiques the lottery mindset across several domains. 1. Entrepreneurship. Many entrepreneurs fall into the trap of believing that success comes from spreading their resources thin, launching multiple products, chasing various markets, or experimenting endlessly. But true breakthroughs come from concentrated effort on a singular, bold vision. You don't win by playing every hand. You win by committing to the right one. 2. Education. Students are often encouraged to adopt a generalist approach, pursuing a wide range of skills to keep their options open. But this unfocused strategy often leads to mediocrity. The most impactful individuals don't just dabble in many fields, they master one and use it as a springboard to create unique value. 3. Investing. The financial world frequently promotes diversification as a safeguard against risk. While this strategy may preserve wealth, it rarely creates it. The greatest investors, like Warren Buffett, succeed by taking calculated, focused risks in areas they deeply understand. 4. Life decisions. Even on a personal level, the indefinite mindset fosters a tendency to drift, avoiding big decisions or delaying them indefinitely. But the future is not something to wait for, it's something to build. At its core, this chapter argues that humans are not powerless participants in a chaotic world. Instead, we are agents of change, capable of crafting the future through intention and action. Embracing this truth requires rejecting the idea that randomness governs our lives and replacing it with a philosophy of determination. The chapter emphasizes the power of definite thinking, a mindset that prioritizes clarity, focus, and execution. This is not about rigid planning or overconfidence. It's about committing to a vision and making deliberate choices to bring it to life. One of the most compelling insights is the idea that belief in luck is often a way to avoid responsibility. It's easier to attribute success or failure to external forces than to acknowledge our own role in shaping outcomes. But this mindset is self-defeating. When you believe you're powerless, you stop trying to make an impact. The chapter doesn't deny the existence of luck. Chance certainly plays a role in life. However, luck is not a strategy. Successful people and companies position themselves to capitalize on luck when it comes. But they don't rely on it. They take risks, make bold moves, and create opportunities where none existed before. One striking example is the difference between startups that succeed and those that fail. The successful ones aren't necessarily the luckiest. They're the ones that dared to focus on solving specific problems, take bold risks, and commit fully to their visions. The narrative also explores the concept of definite failure, which happens when individuals or companies adopt an indefinite mindset. By spreading themselves too thin, avoiding hard decisions, or relying on luck, they doom themselves to mediocrity, or worse, irrelevance. The lesson from this chapter is clear. Reject the lottery ticket mentality. Don't hope for success to find you. Instead, take ownership of your future. Choose a vision, commit to it, and execute with focus and purpose. The chapter concludes with a powerful question. Are you living as if your future is predetermined by chance, or are you taking deliberate steps to shape it? The answer to this question defines not only your personal trajectory, but also your potential to create meaningful, lasting impact in the world. Success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. Chapter 7. Follow the money. In the pursuit of building groundbreaking businesses, one truth stands above all. Money reveals priorities. This chapter unveils the profound link between a company's financial structure and its long-term strategy. If you want to understand a business, its potential, challenges, and trajectory, look at how it makes and spends money. Following the money isn't just practical advice, it's a roadmap to decoding success. The chapter begins with a startling insight. Not all revenue is created equal. Many companies fixate on generating as much revenue as possible, but this often blinds them to the importance of profitability and sustainability. A business with sky-high revenue but razor-thin margins, or worse, consistent losses, cannot survive. In contrast, the most successful companies design their revenue streams to maximize profitability, scalability, and longevity. This leads to the concept of unit economics, a key metric for understanding the health of any business. Unit economics measures the profit or loss made from a single customer or transaction. If acquiring a customer costs more than the revenue they generate, the business is fundamentally unsustainable. Strong unit economics are the foundation of a thriving company, enabling it to grow without burning cash at unsustainable rates. The chapter explores the dangers of chasing growth at all costs, a common trap in today's startup world. Many companies burn through vast amounts of capital to acquire customers or expand their reach, only to find that they can't sustain their operations without constant infusions of cash. This growth without profit strategy often leads to spectacular failures. The lesson is clear. Growth is important, but profitability is essential. A company that can't generate sustainable profits is living on borrowed time. One of the most compelling insights in the chapter is the distinction between value capture and value creation. While value creation involves building something that benefits society, value capture determines how much of that value a business can retain for itself. For a company to succeed financially, it must excel at both. A product may be revolutionary, but if the company can't effectively monetize it, the business will fail. This dual focus on creating and capturing value is exemplified by monopolies. Dominant companies like Google or Amazon not only create immense value for their users, but also capture a significant portion of that value through strategic pricing, economies of scale, and network effects. Their financial models are designed not just to survive, but to thrive, ensuring that they can invest in future growth while maintaining profitability. The chapter also delves into the role of cash flow and capital efficiency. Cash flow, the money flowing into and out of a business, determines its ability to sustain operations and fund growth. A company with positive cash flow can weather economic downturns, invest in innovation, and outlast competitors. In contrast, businesses that rely heavily on external funding are vulnerable to market shifts and investor sentiment. Capital efficiency, on the other hand, measures how effectively a company uses its resources to generate returns. A highly efficient business achieves more with less, minimizing waste and maximizing impact. This is especially critical for startups, which often operate with limited resources. Efficient use of capital isn't just a survival strategy, it's a competitive advantage. Another key theme is the importance of long-term thinking in financial strategy. Many businesses succumb to the pressure of short-term gains, sacrificing future stability for immediate results. But the most enduring companies take a different approach. They invest in infrastructure, research, and systems that may not pay off immediately, but set the stage for lasting success. This patience and foresight separate visionaries from opportunists. The chapter also highlights the role of investors in shaping a company's financial trajectory. Investors aren't just providers of capital, they're strategic partners whose priorities and expectations can influence the direction of the business. Smart companies choose investors who align with their long-term vision, rather than those who push for unsustainable growth or quick exits. Ultimately, the chapter emphasizes that financial strategy is not an afterthought. It's a core element of building a transformative business. The way a company handles money reflects its priorities, strengths, and weaknesses. By following the money, you can uncover the DNA of any business, identifying the factors that will determine its success or failure. This chapter serves as a wake-up call to entrepreneurs, reminding them that building a great company isn't just about vision or innovation. It's about execution. And at the heart of execution is the discipline to manage resources wisely, focus on sustainability, and always keep an eye on the bottom line. The question posed by the chapter is simple yet profound. Does your business model serve your long-term vision, or are you chasing short-term wins at the expense of enduring success? The answer lies in how you handle money, because in the end, the money trail reveals everything. Chapter 8, Secrets. In the world of business, secrets are the hidden keys to groundbreaking success. This chapter explores the notion that the most valuable companies don't simply improve on what others have done. They uncover secrets about the world that no one else sees. These secrets are the foundation of innovation, and discovering them is the essential step toward creating something truly unique. At the core of the chapter is the idea that the future belongs to those who can identify secrets that others have missed. Secrets, in this context, aren't necessarily esoteric or mystical. They're insights about business, technology, or society that are either unknown or underappreciated. These secrets hold the power to transform industries, create new markets, and give rise to monopolies. But finding them requires more than just market research or following trends. It requires a mindset that actively seeks out the unseen. The chapter begins by presenting a provocative question. What important truth do very few people agree with you on? This question is essential for uncovering secrets. It forces you to think beyond conventional wisdom and explore areas where others might be blind or dismissive. The truth, the author suggests, is often the thing that is hardest to see precisely because it's right in front of us, hidden in plain sight. The challenge is to find a perspective that others haven't thought of or haven't yet dared to believe. The role of secrets in innovation. Successful entrepreneurs and visionaries often stumble upon secrets by approaching problems from new angles, asking bold questions, and challenging assumptions that everyone else takes for granted. For example, one of the most profound business secrets revealed by successful companies is that certain industries are ripe for disruption, precisely because they're overlooked or underdeveloped. These industries hold immense potential, but unlocking that potential requires seeing opportunities where others see only obstacles or constraints. The most successful companies are built upon a set of deep insights or secrets that guide their vision and strategy. Google was not the first search engine, but it capitalized on a secret insight into the way search results could be ranked based on the structure of the web itself, something that had been largely ignored by competitors. Likewise, Tesla didn't just build another electric car. It revealed the secret that electric cars could outperform gasoline-powered ones, both in terms of performance and desirability. The ability to identify secrets sets apart those who succeed from those who don't. But finding a secret requires looking at the world through a different lens. Instead of accepting the status quo, true innovators ask themselves, what's wrong with this picture? What's missing? By reframing problems, they discover secrets that have the power to change the game entirely. The power of contrarian thinking. The chapter emphasizes contrarian thinking, a mode of thinking that deliberately rejects common assumptions and goes against the grain of conventional wisdom. Contrary to popular belief, successful entrepreneurs are not those who follow trends. They are those who choose to challenge them. If everyone is doing the same thing, it's a clear sign that the real opportunity lies elsewhere. The author argues that the best way to uncover secrets is to look for things that others have missed or overlooked. This is a characteristic of many successful entrepreneurs. They don't simply imitate or iterate on existing ideas. Instead, they disrupt the status quo by focusing on a problem that hasn't yet been solved or a market that hasn't been fully addressed. By doing this, they unlock new possibilities that most people simply don't see. For example, PayPal didn't just create another payment system. It recognized that the secret to online transactions was building trust in the digital realm, something that had been largely absent in early e-commerce. By focusing on solving that problem, PayPal changed the landscape of online payments and became a dominant force. Secrets and risk-taking. The pursuit of secrets isn't easy. It involves taking risks. In fact, finding and acting on secrets requires a willingness to go against the grain and take risks that others won't. It's easy to follow the herd, but doing so limits your potential to uncover something truly innovative. The chapter makes the case that risk-taking is not about gambling, but about having the courage to act on a vision that others might not yet understand or believe in. This type of risk-taking is what leads to extraordinary rewards. Moreover, the best secrets often come with a price. They're not always immediately obvious or easy to grasp, and they require hard work, perseverance, and an ability to endure failure. The chapter highlights that the pursuit of these secrets demands a deep commitment to uncovering truths that others are either unaware of or unwilling to confront. The importance of unique insights. In the pursuit of success, unique insights are your most valuable asset. The challenge, however, is that these insights often come from a place of deep, focused expertise. To discover secrets, you must immerse yourself in a field, understand it deeply, and then step back to see connections or contradictions that others might overlook. This is not about having a superficial understanding, but gaining a deep mastery of a subject. As the chapter suggests, the best entrepreneurs have a unique understanding of a problem that leads to a new solution. These entrepreneurs aren't simply creating products, they're offering solutions to problems that haven't been fully recognized yet. They are solving problems that nobody else has yet realized are problems. This is what allows them to create something new and valuable. Conclusion: finding your own secrets. In the end, the chapter leaves us with a powerful takeaway. If you want to build something great, start by uncovering a secret that only you can see. Focus on contrarian thinking, challenge the status quo, and relentlessly seek out opportunities that others are missing. The greatest companies in history weren't just lucky. They discovered secrets that allowed them to create something radically different from what already existed. To build the future, you must first find the hidden truths that will shape it. The world is full of secrets waiting to be unlocked. The question is, can you see them? Chapter 9, Foundations. The success of any business isn't built overnight. It's established through strong foundations. In this chapter, the focus shifts to the critical importance of laying the groundwork for a company, particularly during its early stages. Every great company is the product of its founder's vision, values, and decisions, and these foundations are what shape its future. While many entrepreneurs focus on building their product or scaling their operations, they often overlook the most crucial element: building the right foundation. At the heart of this chapter is the idea that the early choices a company makes will determine whether it thrives or fails. From the formation of the team to the crafting of the mission, the company's foundation is what anchors its long-term success. Without strong, well-considered foundations, even the most brilliant ideas can falter. The importance of the founding team. One of the most powerful points in the chapter is the emphasis on the founding team. The success of a company is largely determined by the people who start it. The chapter makes it clear that the early decisions made by the founders have far-reaching consequences. The culture, values, and vision of a company are established by its founders, and they must be clear, cohesive, and intentional. A successful founding team must be aligned on two essential elements: vision and execution. It's not enough to have a great idea. The team must share a unified goal and the ability to execute that vision. The chapter stresses that having the right co-founders, those who complement each other's strengths and compensate for each other's weaknesses, is essential for building a resilient company. In fact, the right team can make up for a lack of resources, while the wrong team can undo even the best ideas. The foundation of a startup is not just about who you are working with, but also about how you work together. A founding team must operate with trust, respect, and a shared sense of responsibility. Conflicts, egos, or a lack of clarity in roles can disrupt the company's progress and ultimately cause failure. The best teams are often those that are united by a common belief in a mission, not just the desire for financial success. The power of a strong mission. Another essential component of a strong foundation is a clear and compelling mission. In the early stages of a company, when resources are limited and uncertainty is high, a clear mission provides direction. A strong mission doesn't just motivate the founders, it acts as a guiding principle for the entire company. It is the compass that ensures everyone is working toward the same goal, even when the path is difficult. A mission-driven company is one where every decision, from product development to hiring, is aligned with a singular vision. The chapter stresses that great companies don't just make money, they solve real problems and provide value to the world. The mission should be big enough to inspire, but also specific enough to focus the efforts of the team. The chapter draws a powerful distinction between companies that are driven by a mission and those that are driven by a desire to maximize profit. Profit-driven companies are often reactive, chasing whatever seems to be the next hot trend. Mission-driven companies, on the other hand, stay focused on their core purpose, even if it means taking difficult, unconventional routes. The commitment to a larger mission gives companies the fortitude to endure the inevitable challenges that come with building something new. Legal and structural foundations. The chapter also explores the often overlooked aspects of building a company, the legal and structural foundations. While these elements may seem secondary compared to product or market strategy, they can make or break a business in the long run. From choosing the right legal structure to securing intellectual property, these early decisions help shape the future of the company. Many entrepreneurs, in their excitement to get started, overlook the importance of establishing a solid legal foundation. The chapter warns that starting a business without clear contracts, agreements, and legal structures can create friction and jeopardize long-term success. Having the right legal and organizational frameworks in place from the start is not just about protecting the company, it's about setting the company up for growth and scalability. Similarly, the way a company is structured impacts its ability to scale. The chapter suggests that startups should prioritize creating clear roles and responsibilities within their teams. As the company grows, this structure should evolve, but without a solid foundation, the company risks descending into chaos as it expands. The right time to scale. One of the most important aspects of building a company's foundation is knowing when to scale. While scaling is often seen as the ultimate goal, scaling too early or too aggressively can be detrimental. In the chapter, the argument is made that companies should only scale once they have successfully established their product, mission, and organizational foundations. Without a solid base, scaling becomes reckless expansion that dilutes the company's culture, weakens its product, and strains its resources. The best companies are built one step at a time, methodically refining their product, understanding their market, and reinforcing their core values. Scaling prematurely without first mastering the fundamentals is a common pitfall that leads to failure. Companies that build from a place of stability and intentionality are the ones that succeed in the long run. Conclusion: the unseen foundation. Ultimately, this chapter makes it clear that the foundations of a company are not merely about product or technology. They are about the people, the mission, the structure, and the mindset that the founders instill in the business from the very beginning. Foundational decisions are long-term investments in the company's future, and they lay the groundwork for every success that follows. By focusing on building strong, cohesive foundations, starting with the right team, establishing a clear mission, securing the right legal framework, and scaling thoughtfully, founders can set their companies on the path to lasting success. The chapter challenges entrepreneurs to ask themselves, what are you building your company on? The answer to this question, more than any single business decision, determines whether the company will stand the test of time or crumble under pressure. Strong foundations are the bedrock of every great business, and they are the secret to building something that lasts. Chapter 10: The Mechanics of Mafia. In this chapter, the concept of building a strong, close-knit team is explored through the idea of the mafia. The term might seem odd or even intimidating, but it serves as a metaphor for the kind of intense loyalty, trust, and dedication that successful companies cultivate among their teams. The chapter takes a deep dive into how the best startups aren't just built by people who happen to work together. They are built by a group of people who share a sense of common purpose and a shared mission. These teams work with a relentless focus and a unified vision, almost like a tightly bonded, exclusive family. The power of a strong, united team. The chapter underscores that a great company is nothing without its team. More than just skilled individuals, the people behind the company should be bound by a deep sense of commitment, vision, and mutual trust. It's not enough to just hire the best talent. You need people who are aligned in their goals and who care deeply about the company's mission. This creates a sense of unbreakable solidarity, a core bond that makes the team more than just colleagues, but rather a tribe of innovators, all dedicated to the same goal. The mafia metaphor emphasizes the importance of building a team where everyone has each other's backs, willing to take risks and make sacrifices to ensure the company's success. It's about deep loyalty and intense camaraderie, traits that make the difference between an average company and a truly extraordinary one. These bonds are formed in the early stages of a company's life, where the founders and the core team come together in ways that foster trust and a shared belief in the company's potential. A team of misfits and outliers. What makes these mafia-like teams unique is that they often consist of people who don't fit the mold of traditional corporate structures. In many of the best startups, the founding team is made up of misfits and outliers. People who aren't necessarily polished professionals, but who bring different perspectives and unconventional skills to the table. The chapter illustrates that nonconformity is a strength, not a weakness. These individuals are able to see the world through a different lens, offering creative solutions and bold ideas that the average corporate employee might overlook. The chapter emphasizes that the best teams often start with close-knit, diverse groups that may not fit the traditional corporate mold, but who share a passion for solving big problems. These teams are willing to embrace risk, challenge the status quo, and push boundaries. In this way, they create a culture of innovation where each team member is encouraged to think independently and contribute ideas that might seem crazy to outsiders, but are, in fact, the keys to breaking through. The importance of a shared vision. Having a unified vision is critical for success. When the team shares a common understanding of the company's mission, it serves as a compass, guiding them through challenges and setbacks. The chapter argues that companies with a strong shared vision can weather the toughest storms. The team isn't just working for a paycheck. They're working because they believe in the company's greater purpose. This sense of belonging and shared mission is what keeps the team focused and motivated, especially during hard times when others might give up. In a strong startup, everyone knows their role and how it contributes to the larger mission. The chapter illustrates how each member of the mafia should have a clear and impactful role that they take pride in. Each person feels like they are part of something bigger than themselves. This unity and alignment give the company a laser-like focus, making it far more powerful than a collection of individuals working in parallel. Creating a culture of trust. Trust is another essential ingredient for a successful team. In a mafia team, everyone knows they can count on each other. There are no silos or egos getting in the way of progress. The chapter stresses that deep trust is built through shared experiences, high levels of accountability, and a commitment to the company's vision. The more trust the team has, the more they can push each other to achieve incredible things. Creating this trust requires a lot of effort. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly isn't created by simply filling positions with skilled individuals. True trust is cultivated through consistent communication, shared hardship, and a commitment to the same goal. Without it, even the most talented individuals can't form a successful company. The mafia approach to recruiting. The chapter also touches on the importance of recruiting the right people, those who will thrive in a close-knit, intense environment. Just as important as having the right vision and culture is ensuring that the right people are chosen to join the team in the first place. The chapter highlights that you should be selective when bringing people into your company, choosing only those who are aligned with the mission and who possess the ability to work in a collaborative, high-stakes environment. Successful companies do not simply hire based on resumes or external experience. They hire based on character and commitment. The best teams are those where individuals are willing to put in the work, even when it's difficult, and those who will stick with the company, even when success seems uncertain. The mafia's enduring legacy. The final part of the chapter is about the long-term impact that a strong, cohesive team has on the company. A well-established team creates a culture of excellence that endures through the company's growth. The initial group of mafia members becomes a core that continues to shape the company's identity, no matter how large it grows. This legacy of excellence becomes a powerful force that fuels the company's continued success. The chapter concludes by stressing that building a great company is not just about products or technology. It's about creating a team of individuals who are committed to one another and to a common mission. A company built on these principles has the potential to overcome any challenge, disrupt any market, and achieve long-term success. The secret to creating a world-changing business lies not in the brilliance of the idea, but in the strength of the people who bring that idea to life. Conclusion. In the end, the mafia is not about secrecy or power. It's about the unstoppable unity of a great team. The chapter reveals that building a world-class company requires more than a great product. It requires a team that is bonded by shared values, trust, and an unrelenting commitment to the company's mission. If you can assemble such a team, you'll be positioned to achieve extraordinary success. Chapter 11. If you build it, will they come? In this chapter, the focus shifts from the creation of a product to one of the most fundamental and often overlooked aspects of building a successful business: customer acquisition. The question posed in the chapter's title, "If you build it, will they come?" highlights a critical misunderstanding many entrepreneurs have when starting out. The idea that simply creating an outstanding product will automatically lead to customers is a dangerous misconception. Building a great product is only the first step. What follows is the much more complex task of ensuring that people actually find and value that product. This chapter reveals the deeper mechanics behind customer acquisition and the necessity of crafting a compelling market strategy from the start. The myth of the field of dreams. The phrase, "if you build it, they will come," has become synonymous with the belief that simply creating something great will guarantee success. However, the chapter dismantles this myth by pointing out that demand doesn't emerge just because you've built something new and innovative. Entrepreneurs often fall into the trap of assuming that if they create a remarkable product, customers will naturally flock to it. Unfortunately, this is rarely the case. The chapter warns that great products need a plan for distribution, and the road to acquiring customers is rarely simple. Even the best products can fail if they are not properly marketed or made accessible to the right audience. This is where the real work begins. Building a product is just one part of the equation. Getting people to care about it is what separates the successful businesses from the failures. The importance of distribution. One of the most powerful insights in this chapter is the emphasis on distribution channels. No matter how good the product, it won't succeed without effective distribution. The chapter points out that many startups make the fatal error of assuming that if they build a good product, distribution will just happen on its own. In reality, businesses must actively design and control their distribution strategies to ensure they reach their target customers. The chapter highlights several examples of companies that succeeded precisely because they figured out how to distribute their products in creative and efficient ways. For example, companies like PayPal were able to scale rapidly, not just because their product was useful, but because they engineered a system of growth through viral marketing. PayPal utilized a clever strategy that incentivized users to invite others to join, exponentially increasing their customer base in a short period of time. The lesson here is clear. Product market fit is critical, but so is distribution market fit. Without a clear, strategic approach to reaching customers, even the best product can get lost in the noise. The chapter stresses the need for founders to think deeply about how their product will reach people and what methods they will use to ensure it doesn't get buried beneath competitors. Niche markets and early adopters. The chapter also delves into the idea of focusing on a niche market first, rather than trying to appeal to everyone at once. It's tempting to think that you need a broad market to succeed, but in reality, the most successful startups often begin by serving a small, niche group of users. These early adopters are critical because they are the ones who help shape the product through feedback, and they are often the first evangelists who will spread the word to others. The chapter encourages founders to hone in on a specific audience and design their product to meet the unique needs of that group. Once the product has gained traction within a niche, it can then scale to a broader audience. This method creates a strong initial user base that drives growth through organic word of mouth and positive reviews. Startups that aim too broadly, on the other hand, risk diluting their product's appeal and exhausting resources without gaining the traction they need. The role of sales and marketing. Another important point raised in the chapter is the necessity of a robust sales and marketing strategy. While many entrepreneurs may view sales and marketing as secondary to product development, they are in fact critical to the company's survival and success. Without a focused effort on sales, even a great product can remain virtually unknown to potential customers. The chapter stresses that building a great product should be accompanied by a deliberate and aggressive marketing and sales strategy that brings the product to the attention of those who need it most. Marketing isn't just about advertising. It's about communicating the value of the product in a way that resonates with the target audience. Founders must think strategically about how to position the product in the market, who the audience is, and what problem it solves. Only by clearly conveying these elements can they hope to win over customers and build a successful business. Building a brand and reputation. The chapter also touches on the concept of building a brand. In today's competitive marketplace, it's not enough to simply have a good product. You need to build a reputation around it. A brand is more than just a logo or name. It's a promise to the customer, a guarantee of quality, and an emotional connection that makes people want to keep coming back. The chapter emphasizes that startups should think about their brand from the very beginning. Building a strong brand is essential to creating lasting customer loyalty and generating buzz around the product. The most successful companies build a distinctive identity that customers recognize and trust. This reputation is a competitive advantage that can propel a company forward, even in the face of fierce competition. The danger of over-reliance on funding. Another cautionary point the chapter raises is about over-reliance on funding. While venture capital can provide the resources to scale, it is not a substitute for a well-thought-out customer acquisition strategy. Many startups fall into the trap of relying too heavily on funding and scaling prematurely before they've built a solid base of customers. The chapter advises that the focus should always be on building a sustainable business model, where customer acquisition is prioritized and sustainable over the long term, rather than relying on constant injections of capital. Conclusion. In conclusion, the chapter teaches that product creation is only half of the battle. Ensuring that people know about the product, believe in it, and choose it over competitors is where the real work begins. Building a successful business requires strategic thinking about distribution, marketing, sales, and customer acquisition. Entrepreneurs need to realize that creating a great product is just the first step. The true challenge lies in getting people to notice, trust, and buy it. By developing a strong marketing plan, focusing on niche markets, and creating a brand that resonates with customers, startups can increase their chances of survival and long-term success. If you build it, will they come? The answer lies in how you build it and how you make sure the right people hear about it. Chapter 12, Man and Machine. In this chapter, the focus is on a fundamental shift that many businesses must navigate: the relationship between human workers and machines. The chapter dismantles the commonly held belief that technology will eventually render human labor obsolete, suggesting instead that the future will require a synergy between man and machine. Rather than seeing technology as a threat to jobs, the chapter positions it as a tool that, when leveraged correctly, can augment human capabilities and drive greater innovation. The author argues that while machines are capable of performing repetitive, standardized tasks with greater efficiency and precision than humans, there are areas where human intuition, creativity, and judgment remain essential. The most successful companies, therefore, will be those that combine the strengths of both human intellect and machine power. Technology, when used strategically, should empower workers to focus on higher-level tasks that require innovation, problem-solving, and strategic thinking, tasks that are beyond the reach of even the most advanced algorithms. The rise of automation and AI. The chapter addresses the growing trend of automation and artificial intelligence, AI, in industries ranging from manufacturing to finance, healthcare, and even entertainment. These technologies are often seen as a threat to employment, with fears that they will displace millions of workers. However, the author challenges this view, suggesting that automation does not necessarily mean the end of human jobs. Instead, it offers the opportunity for a new type of labor, one that complements technology and allows humans to engage in more creative and meaningful work. Rather than fearing automation, companies should embrace it as a way to improve efficiency and reduce the burden of mundane tasks. Machines excel at processes that are repetitive, rule-based, and data-heavy. Humans, on the other hand, excel at tasks requiring flexibility, emotional intelligence, and creativity. By combining the two, businesses can create a powerful combination that leads to unprecedented productivity and innovation. The chapter highlights examples of companies that have successfully integrated technology to create a more efficient and productive workforce. For instance, automation in the manufacturing sector can free up employees from manual labor, allowing them to focus on improving production methods, designing new products, or strategizing ways to expand market reach. Similarly, the rise of AI in fields like healthcare can aid doctors by analyzing vast amounts of medical data, giving them insights they may have missed, and ultimately helping them make better, faster decisions. The human edge. While machines can undoubtedly handle a wide range of tasks, the chapter stresses that human ingenuity and judgment remain indispensable. Humans bring a unique set of skills to the table, skills that machines still struggle to replicate. Creativity, empathy, and complex decision-making in the face of ambiguity are areas where humans excel. Technology should never be seen as a replacement for human workers, but as a tool to amplify human abilities. The author provides examples of industries where human expertise cannot be substituted by machines, such as in areas like design, customer service, and leadership. For instance, while AI can help analyze data to detect patterns, it lacks the ability to interpret the nuances of a specific market or understand the emotional needs of a customer. Empathy and relationship building, which are critical in many service-based industries, cannot be replicated by a machine. Moreover, humans have the ability to make decisions based on intuition and experience, skills that are difficult to encode into algorithms. Machines can process vast amounts of information quickly, but they still fall short when it comes to making subjective decisions that require judgment or understanding of context. For example, a self-driving car can follow rules and make precise calculations, but a human driver still has the edge when it comes to dealing with unexpected situations, like a pedestrian stepping into the road. Creating a new class of work. The chapter also touches on the need to rethink the nature of work in the future. With the rise of machines and AI, many traditional jobs will become obsolete, and the economy must adapt to this new reality. The key to navigating this change is to create new types of jobs that require human creativity and intuition, rather than jobs that focus on repetitive tasks that can easily be automated. Education and training will play a critical role in preparing future generations for the future of work. Rather than focusing on rote learning or preparing students for jobs that might soon be automated, education systems should emphasize critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional intelligence, skills that will always be in demand, regardless of technological advances. The chapter suggests that the future workforce must be trained to collaborate with machines, not compete with them. A symbiotic relationship. The chapter concludes by reinforcing the idea that the relationship between man and machine should be seen as symbiotic, a partnership where both parties contribute their strengths. Machines can handle the heavy lifting of data analysis and repetitive tasks, allowing humans to focus on more creative and strategic roles. The future will not be one where machines replace people, but where they augment human capabilities and free up humans to engage in higher value work. The most successful companies will be those that embrace this synergy, finding ways to combine human ingenuity with the precision of technology. Whether it's by automating mundane tasks or using AI to assist in decision-making, businesses that can successfully integrate human skills with machine efficiency will be the ones to dominate in the future. Conclusion. Ultimately, the chapter presents a vision of a future where man and machine work together, complementing each other's strengths and overcoming their weaknesses. Technology is not a threat to humanity, but a tool that, when used wisely, can enhance human potential and enable people to accomplish tasks that were previously unimaginable. By leveraging the power of both human intellect and technological innovation, companies can create a future of work that is more fulfilling, more efficient, and more creative than ever before. The challenge is not in choosing between man or machine, but in finding a way for them to work together seamlessly to drive progress and success. Chapter 13, Seeing Green. In this chapter, the author delves into the controversial world of green energy and its role in the future of innovation. While the idea of green energy is noble and its potential for combating climate change is undeniable, the chapter presents a stark reality. Many green energy companies fail because they fail to see the full picture of what it takes to build a successful business, not just a sustainable one. The author challenges the notion that simply pursuing green technologies is inherently good or innovative. Instead, he argues that innovation in green energy requires not just passion, but clear strategic thinking, real-world applications, and a robust business model that can withstand the test of time. The green energy delusion. The chapter begins by addressing the green energy movement, often touted as the key to solving global environmental challenges. While the desire to reduce pollution and fight climate change is noble, the chapter critiques the way many startups approach green energy. The author argues that many green energy projects fail because they prioritize ideology over practicality. Entrepreneurs rush to create eco-friendly products and services without fully understanding the economics, scalability, or consumer demand necessary to make their ventures successful. A key point made is that, unlike traditional industries where businesses can measure demand and profitability more directly, the green energy sector is often clouded by emotional narratives. There's an overwhelming focus on the moral good of the projects, rather than the pragmatic factors that determine business success. Startups often fail because they enter a market filled with uncertain demand and high operational costs, only to realize that despite their good intentions, the business model doesn't make sense in the long run. Green energy companies, the chapter argues, must learn to think strategically, using the same business fundamentals that have led to success in other industries, rather than relying on idealism alone. The fallacy of subsidies. The chapter also critiques the reliance on government subsidies as a primary means of funding for green energy startups. The author contends that while subsidies can be helpful in getting a business off the ground, they cannot guarantee success in the long term. Many green energy companies rely too heavily on subsidies to prop up their businesses, creating an unsustainable model that collapses once the subsidies are withdrawn or reduced. The key insight here is that true innovation must be self-sustaining. The author argues that green energy businesses should focus on creating products and services that can stand on their own merit without relying on government funding. The future of green energy, according to the chapter, will come from companies that can innovate not just in technology, but in business models that deliver value in a way that is both economically viable and environmentally responsible. The problem with incremental innovation. A critical argument the author makes is that many of the efforts in green energy focus on incremental innovation, making small improvements to existing technologies rather than creating disruptive, breakthrough technologies that can fundamentally change the game. This type of incrementalism, the author suggests, often leads to limited progress and diluted impact. Green energy companies must push beyond the status quo and aim for bold, transformative innovations that can revolutionize the industry. The chapter compares this with the tech industry, where companies like Tesla have managed to make a significant impact by creating not just incremental improvements in electric cars, but by redefining what is possible in the electric vehicle market. In green energy, such disruptive thinking is necessary if the industry is to move beyond the limitations of today's technologies and make a meaningful impact on the world's energy problems. Technological and business innovation must go hand in hand. While many companies focus on creating cutting-edge green technologies, the author emphasizes the need for a balance between technological innovation and business innovation. Green energy startups often overlook the importance of scalable business models and the ability to reach the right market. Just having a revolutionary technology isn't enough. Companies need to think about how to make that technology affordable, accessible, and scalable. For example, solar energy is a promising technology, but it has faced significant barriers to adoption due to high installation costs and infrastructure challenges. Successful green energy companies must find innovative solutions to lower these costs, improve distribution models, and make these technologies economically feasible for the average consumer. The chapter suggests that while technological breakthroughs are critical, businesses must also redefine the systems in which these technologies operate in order to ensure that they reach widespread adoption and can deliver tangible environmental benefits. The right mindset for entrepreneurs. The chapter encourages entrepreneurs in the green energy space to adopt a mindset of radical innovation. Rather than trying to make small improvements to outdated systems or relying on subsidies to survive, entrepreneurs should think in terms of creating entirely new industries and transforming existing models. This requires not only bold thinking and technical expertise, but also a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom and disrupt entrenched systems. The author stresses that great businesses are built on the foundations of bold, groundbreaking ideas that don't just solve problems, but redefine the way the world works. By adopting this mindset, entrepreneurs can transform green energy from an ideological pursuit into a profitable, scalable, and impactful industry that can contribute meaningfully to the future of both the economy and the environment. Seeing green as opportunity. In the end, the chapter concludes by reinforcing the idea that green energy represents not just a moral mission, but a business opportunity. Entrepreneurs who succeed in this space will be those who approach green technologies with a keen eye for innovation, business sense, and scalability. These businesses will not be the ones that survive on subsidies or incremental changes, but those that aim for real transformation, creating new markets, addressing systemic challenges, and ultimately building sustainable, profitable businesses. The chapter challenges readers to think differently about the future of green energy, to move beyond the idealism that often clouds the industry, and to build businesses that combine technological prowess with economic intelligence. Only by doing so, it argues, will entrepreneurs be able to truly change the world, both environmentally and economically. Chapter 14, The Founder's Paradox. In this chapter, the author delves into the complex and paradoxical nature of being a founder. Entrepreneurs often face the difficult task of balancing visionary leadership with the practical demands of running a company. The chapter emphasizes how founders are both essential to the success of their companies and, paradoxically, the very reason why their companies might fail. It explores how the traits that make a founder successful, vision, drive, and boldness, can also create challenges in the long term. The dual nature of founders. The author begins by pointing out a fundamental paradox. Founders are essential to the early stages of a company, but they can also be a hindrance when the business matures. Founders are often characterized by their visionary thinking and unwavering commitment, which allows them to overcome obstacles and push forward when others would falter. They are unique individuals with the ability to envision something radically new and the determination to make it happen, even when the odds are stacked against them. However, as the company grows, these same characteristics can become a double-edged sword. Founders can become overly attached to their original vision, making them resistant to change. Their strong personalities and personal ambitions can create conflict as they struggle to relinquish control and adapt to the changing needs of the business. In the process, they might also overlook the skills required to scale the company, such as managing a larger team, adapting to new market dynamics, and building systems that enable long-term sustainability. The role of visionary leadership. The chapter emphasizes that the power of the founder's vision is a key driver of success. A strong, clear vision allows founders to see opportunities where others see only obstacles. They are able to inspire others and create a sense of purpose that goes beyond just making money. The founder's role as a visionary leader means that they are at the heart of innovation, constantly pushing the company to break boundaries and venture into uncharted territories. This visionary role is a key part of what makes founders so valuable in the early stages of a company. They are not bound by conventional thinking, and they can reimagine industries, creating new products, services, or business models that disrupt the market. Founders tend to think bigger and bolder than anyone else, which is why they are often the ones who start revolutionary businesses. However, this visionary role also comes with risks. Founders can become so focused on their own vision that they fail to see the changing landscape around them. They might ignore market shifts or fail to adjust their product to better meet customer needs. Their obsession with their original vision can blind them to the evolving demands of the business. If they do not learn to adapt and delegate, their companies risk stagnating or even collapsing under the weight of their own ambitions. The founder's need for control. One of the paradoxes discussed in the chapter is the founder's need for control. A founder who starts a company is typically someone who has a strong sense of ownership over their vision. They are the ones who took the leap, took on the risks, and made the critical decisions that led to the company's inception. This gives them a profound sense of control, which is crucial when the company is in its early chaotic stages. However, as the company grows, the founder's need for control can become problematic. In order to scale, the company needs to empower others, build out teams, and foster a culture of collaboration. But many founders are reluctant to relinquish control, often viewing delegation as a sign of weakness or a threat to their vision. This tendency can create a bottleneck in decision-making, slow down innovation, and make the company less agile. The author suggests that for a company to thrive in the long term, founders must learn to balance their desire for control with the need to empower others. They must recognize that not everything depends on them, and that building a successful, scalable business requires the ability to trust others and embrace collective leadership. This shift can be difficult, but it is essential if the company is to grow beyond its founder's vision and become a lasting, self-sustaining entity. The founder's personality and its impact on the company. The chapter also highlights how a founder's personality and leadership style can shape the culture of the entire company. Founders are often deeply invested in the mission of their business, and this passion can permeate the company, creating a culture of dedication, resilience, and drive. However, this can also have negative consequences. Founders can sometimes impose their vision too rigidly on their teams, stifling creativity and discouraging innovation. The founder's personality, for better or for worse, becomes the DNA of the company, influencing everything from hiring practices to decision-making processes. While it is true that the founder's energy and commitment can fuel the company, it is also important to recognize that no one person has all the answers. As the company expands, it is essential to create a diverse leadership team that can offer new perspectives and challenge the founder's assumptions. Diversity of thought is essential for innovation and growth, and this requires the founder to step back and allow others to contribute their ideas and insights. The founder's long-term role. The chapter concludes by addressing the long-term role of the founder. The author suggests that founders need to shift their mindset as their company matures. While they were once the driving force behind every decision, they must learn to let go and focus on building a sustainable organization. This may mean stepping into more of an advisory role or transitioning leadership to someone who can lead the company through its next phase of growth. While the founder's role evolves, the chapter stresses that founders remain critical to the company's identity. They are the ones who provide the long-term vision and guide the company through its toughest challenges. But to achieve lasting success, they must come to terms with the fact that they cannot do it all, and that the company's future lies in the hands of a broader team, working together towards a shared mission. Conclusion. The founder's paradox is a complex, dynamic journey that blends visionary leadership with the need to evolve and empower others. The chapter highlights the immense value that founders bring to the table, but also warns of the risks they face if they are unable to adapt and delegate. The future of a company depends not only on the founder's ability to lead, but also on their willingness to let go and embrace the contributions of others. Success lies in balance between visionary thinking and practical leadership, between control and collaboration. Stagnation or singularity? As we arrive at the final chapter of this thought-provoking journey, the question posed is both stark and critical. Will we experience stagnation or singularity in the future? This chapter encapsulates the core of the entire argument, urging us to confront the trajectory of technological progress and the fate of human civilization. The author argues that we stand at a crossroads, one that could either lead to an era of extraordinary innovation or an unsettling period of stagnation. This chapter serves as both a warning and a call to action, a reminder that the future is not inevitable and depends on the choices we make today. The choice: stagnation or singularity. In this last chapter, the focus is on the two potential paths humanity faces. On one side, there is this stagnation that is already creeping into many aspects of modern life: incremental changes, the over-reliance on existing technologies, and an unwillingness to push beyond the status quo. The author paints a picture of a world where innovation slows to a crawl, and society is content with doing what has been done instead of breaking new ground. In this scenario, technology advances at a pace that reflects maintenance and preservation rather than revolution. On the other hand, there is the possibility of singularity, a future where technology doesn't just improve incrementally, but instead advances exponentially, creating radical breakthroughs that fundamentally transform every aspect of life. This path involves daring to build and innovate in ways that we have never seen before. Singularity is a world where the impossible becomes possible. Artificial intelligence may surpass human intelligence, new forms of energy could be discovered, and space exploration could become mainstream. It's a world where progress is not just rapid, but transformational, leading us into a future that is entirely new, marked by bold leaps forward. Why innovation has slowed? The author argues that we've already witnessed signs of stagnation in several industries. Over the last few decades, many areas of innovation have stalled, and progress has become mostly incremental rather than revolutionary. Industries like energy, transportation, and even medicine have seen a lot of improvement in terms of efficiency, but they haven't experienced the kind of disruptive breakthroughs that would radically change the way we live. For instance, advancements in computing power have slowed compared to the exponential growth we saw in the early days of the tech revolution. Electric vehicles are improving, but they haven't transformed the automotive industry the way that automobiles once did. In medicine, while treatments for diseases are advancing, we are not seeing the kind of cures that could eradicate major global health issues. These examples show how, in many respects, the world is content to improve what we already have, rather than strive for a bold new future. The consequences of stagnation. Stagnation doesn't just mean a slower pace of technological advancement. It also means that society risks losing its sense of purpose and direction. When people no longer feel they are working towards something great, they turn inward and focus on small, immediate concerns. If humanity chooses stagnation, it risks becoming complacent, accepting the present as good enough, and allowing the future to unfold without our active participation. In such a world, ambition and vision are in decline, and creative thinking, becomes rare. The consequence of this stagnation could be a loss of the drive to achieve greatness, leading to social stagnation as well. The case for singularity. On the flip side, the path of singularity requires a visionary mindset, one that not only accepts that progress is possible, but demands that we push beyond our current limits. The author asserts that technological progress is not just possible, but absolutely critical to human flourishing. Rather than settling for incremental improvements, we must embark on bold ventures, build companies that don't just improve existing products, but create entirely new paradigms. Singularity is about embracing the unknown, trusting that the next generation of breakthroughs is waiting to be discovered. In this future, entrepreneurs and innovators are tasked with creating industries and technologies that don't merely follow trends, but set new trajectories for the world. The chapter emphasizes that the singularity is not just about building for profit, but about reshaping the world in a meaningful way. It's about creating a future that is better for everyone through technologies that enable human potential and solve the most pressing challenges humanity faces. The role of founders in shaping the future. In this chapter, the author reinforces the idea that founders play a crucial role in determining whether we head towards stagnation or singularity. Founders are those who have the vision, determination, and ability to create something from nothing. They are the ones who must challenge existing norms, take bold risks, and commit to creating fundamentally new solutions to old problems. The chapter ends with a call to action for anyone who feels called to create or innovate. The future is not something that happens to us. It is something we actively shape. The author encourages founders to think beyond incremental improvements. Rather than seeking marginal gains, founders should aim for radical progress, building game-changing technologies that disrupt industries and make the world fundamentally different. Success in this new era will not come from competing with existing players, but from creating entirely new markets. Conclusion. This last chapter brings the book to a powerful conclusion, urging us to confront the most critical choice facing humanity today. Will we settle for stagnation, or will we strive for the singularity that promises to change everything? The author leaves us with a powerful message. The future is in our hands, and it is up to us, through innovation, risk-taking, and visionary thinking, to build the future we want. The opportunity is there, but it's not a guarantee. Will we rise to the occasion? Only time will tell. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through 0 to 1. If you found value in today's video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring books and ideas that fuel your growth. I'd love to hear from you. Share your key takeaways, what resonated most, or any brilliant insights you had in the comments below. Let me know which book you'd like me to bring to the book lounge next. And here's an extra gift for you. Download your free book summary and actionable workbook tailored for this audiobook. Just click the link in the description to get started. Until next time, keep dreaming big and building your own future.